Hello everyone, it's me Cindy. I am at Simply Cindy. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. We are going to be talking about astrology, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. So here we go.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough.
All right, everyone, let's get started. So the most important transit that I see in 2025, I'm going to be doing, this is what this video is about, from January to July. And that's because I included July because there's an important one in there. I talked about the other video with the four outer planets changing signs, and then also Jupiter, which is we consider the inner planet, right? So in this video, I'm just going to go over the dates that I see that are important. I will be doing subsequent videos or following videos um, to go really in depth with these aspects, with what's going on and how that may come about in our lives. If you want to see those things where I go deep dive, that is in my membership. So the membership is only $4.99. You can click that join button down there, and that would be much appreciated. Um, yeah, so here we go. So, of course, we have the moon cycle. So, we've already had a full moon, and we had the full moon. Um, I'm looking at the date here. I'm sorry. So, we had the full moon. It'll be here on January 13th. I was thinking it was the 12th, but it's the 12th, 13th. It depends on where you are in the world. So we have the full moon in Cancer, right? That happens on January 13th, depending on where you are in the world. Then we have um, the new moon, and the new moon is going to be in Aquarius. So the full moon is in Cancer at 23 degrees. Now, you guys know how I feel about 23 degrees if you've watched me. 23 degrees is where it starts really expressing any planet that, and any planet that's on 22 and on degree is where it really expresses what it needs to express, right? So we're going to be dealing with a full moon, which is about completions. This whole year is a 9 year, so it's about completions, but because we have the cycle of life, when you're completing something, you're transforming and moving into a new something. So there's always something that's coming as you're shutting out this chapter, right? So with Cancer, it kind of gives us an area of life with it being in Cancer. With the degree, 23 degree and 59 minutes, that tells me it's going to express a lot. So you guys have we all have a lot of changes going on. And so we've got the full moon then on January 13th. Then we have February 12th, which is going to be I'm sorry, January 29th, which is going to be a new moon in Aquarius, right? So we have the starts of things. Things are going to be coming about in Aquarius. We have Pluto in Aquarius right now. And then we have another full moon on February 12th, which is in Leo. And then we have another new moon, February 27th, which is in Pisces. And then guess what? It's eclipse season. So we've just had the lunar nodes change signs. I talked a little bit about that in my other video. It is one of the things that I'm saying that's changing signs, so different energy that we have. The nodes, so it's not going to be right on the nodes, but the nodes are kind of attached to it. But a lunar eclipse is letting go, so we really are changing chapters. We really are closing out a lot right now for it to be at sort of the beginning stages of, from January to March. There'll be some closures going out. And then we have the solar eclipse. So this lunar eclipse is in Virgo, right? And the nodes have changed signs to Virgo and Pisces. That will be on March 14th. And that again will be at 23 degrees. That's an important degree, right? Then we have the solar eclipse March 29th, and that is in Aries. So we've got not just changes coming, but Aries, that's the start of things. and it's a solar eclipse. That means you got gifts coming, you got things coming, you got opportunities coming, you got your path being like opened up for you. That's what's going to be happening with that solar eclipse. Again, I will take a deep dive on all of these things, but that's in my membership. They eventually, some of them will be released out to the public. I don't release all my videos out to the public. So, because there's some things that we talk about that they won't have that on YouTube. This is where I can get down to the nitty gritty of stuff and not have to worry about what I'm saying. And then on April 12th, we have another full moon. That one is in Libra at 23 degrees. It's like, can y'all see that this is really like there's some action stuff going on this year. There's some real closures and real beginnings coming. And then we have a new moon April 20th, and that is in Taurus. And then on May 12th, we have a full moon on with Scorpio full moon. And then on May 26th, we have a new moon. So we have a full moon May 12th in Scorpio. And then we have May 26th, we have a new moon in Gemini, right? And then we have another full moon June 11th at 20 degrees. And then we have another new moon June 25th in Capricorn. So sorry, that full moon is in Sagittarius. And then the new moon is in Cancer on June. So sorry, I hope I said June. So let me take that back. June 11th, we will have a full moon in Sagittarius, and then on June 25th, we'll have a new moon in Cancer. And then on July 10th, we'll have a full moon in Capricorn. And then on July 24th, we have a new moon in Leo. And these are like 4 degrees. The new moons are at 4 degrees, 2 degrees, where the other full moons are at like 20 degrees, right? So if you can see, we really are completing cycles. We really are letting go of things. We really are into all of that this year. This is a 9 year. So we have completions, we have transformation, and we have new things coming. And then August 9th, we have full moon in Aquarius at 17 degrees. And then we have August 23rd, new moon in Scorpio at 0 degrees and 23 minutes. That's a new beginning. We're going to be hitting areas of our we're going to, so this year we're going to be developing areas of our soul that we hadn't before. I can say that. Okay. Then we have another eclipse. We have the lunar eclipse in September 7th. And this is going to be in Pisces at 15 degrees. And then we have a solar eclipse on September 21st in Virgo, right? So this is where September, where they're actually like eclipsing both lunar and solar in the next signs, right? This is where those nodes are involved, the north node and the south node. Then we have the full moon on October 6th in Aries, and then we have the new moon in Libra on October 21st. And then we have November 5th, full moon in Taurus. And then we have November 20th, the new moon in Virgo? Scorpio, sorry, in Scorpio. So then we have the new moon November 20th in Scorpio. And then we have in December 4th, the full moon in Gemini. And then we have a new moon in Sagittarius, right? So I will be going over each of those new and full moons in my membership. That's where I'll go over for each sign, get really in depth about what this all means, but just wanted to let you know these are what I consider important dates this year, right? And so I know I went through the whole year, but I'm going to do now January through July. So of course we have the full moons and the new moons. Then on January 12th, 10th now, we have the nodes changing signs. So the nodes, okay, by January 12th today, we have the nodes have changed signs. So the nodes to me are like portals. They're just spaces that we're moving through or that move through us. If you have my belief and understanding, it's moving through us and we're alchemizing and changing vibrations, frequencies, right? So you can think of it as a portal you're walking through into the new space that you are. But these are your destinies. These are just, it doesn't matter how far off you made choices away from your destiny, it's going to take you right back there, right? It's going to help you grow. And like I said, 2025 right now, to me, is that we have been born in this time to grow parts of our soul that have not been developed. Okay. So this is new territory for everybody. That's why it feels kind of uneasy. And that's why there's all this change. And we have these planets and areas in the universe and on this earth to kind of show us that this is new energy. This is new ways, new thinking, new understanding, new growth in your soul. Okay. So the nodes are changing signs. They are moving from Aries to Pisces in the north node and from Libra to Virgo in the south node, right? So that's the other one. That's number two. Let's see. Then we have the Mars opposing Pluto. The first time that that happened was November 1st. Okay. So November 1st, they were both direct in Cancer when they were opposing each other. Now, if you think about what Mars is and you think about what Pluto is about the underworld. He is the subconscious. He is the things that you don't see that he's working on underneath. He is the psyche. He messes with your psyche, right? And then Mars is your body. Mars is aggression. Mars is like the action taken, the protection given. Like that's Mars, right? Well, when they're opposing, there's hidden things that are coming up. There is the underworld, Mars changing the patterns, seeing the patterns and changing those because Pluto is about if you lean on something, if you are attached to something, he will take it away. Okay? Because he needs you to understand and step into your power and understand that you don't need anything. You can do it on your own. You don't have to, but that's not the point. The point is, are you in your power? Do you understand that you are a creative being that has all these powers within them, but you don't seem to act that way. And that's where Pluto comes to remind you of that. He's much more than that. I have a Pluto series um, here on YouTube, and you are welcome. I'm finishing that up. That's part of what I'm doing this year. Is I've got so much to say about Pluto. I'm going to be doing all the outer planets and then their series. So stay tuned for that. And then the next thing, so the first time that they did this, where they were opposing, where there's lies coming out, there's things under the ground that are coming forward, just that sort of theme, was November 1st, right? And then they were both direct, right? And Mars was in Cancer at the time, and Pluto was in Aqua, right? Or Aquarius. And um, the second time that it's going to happen, or it's happened, is January 3rd. And this is when Mars was retrograde. So Mars is still retrograde right now, and it's still opposing Pluto because Pluto's a bigger planet, and Mars being retrograde is moving a little slower than it's usually moving. So this opposition has been in play for a while, for a minute, for like since January 3rd, right? So it's not like a 1, 2 day thing, it's like a big thing. Now, because of this opposition, I feel like that has to do with what's going on with all the fires. The things underground are coming up. People that have lied and kept secrets, it's coming out. You see these with the politicians. You see these with the celebrities. You see this. You're probably seeing this in your life too. People that had hidden things, malicious things, things that were kept secret, kept underground, kept behind the closed doors. All that's coming out, and that's this Mars Pluto opposition. Then the last, but this time Mars is in Leo, right? So, and it's retrograde, where Pluto is not retrograde in Aquarius. Aquarius is about the people. Aquarius is about humanitarianism. But I feel like with Pluto being in Aquarius, it's given, because remember, whatever planet goes into each house has to play by their rules. It's their house, right? So it's almost like you can use the house rules to navigate with that particular planet, right? Now, Pluto, sometimes we're so close to a situation that we don't see the truth for what it is, right? This is where Aquarian superpower is. We Aquarians, because I'm an Aquarius ascendant, we Aquarians have this way of being able to step back and even detach from our emotions so that we can see things from a different perspective and not be so overrun by emotions. And we can analytically look at A, B, C, and educate ourselves so that we make the best decisions. Well, that's what's happening here in society and with you personally. That you've sort of, with this energy of Aquarius, been able to step away from whatever was going on, whatever is going on, and you're seeing the truth, your truth that you're seeing for what it is. And you're not so emotionally involved that you're seeing red flags and ignoring them. You can't. Not an Aquarius is not going to let you. So I feel like that's why this transit is important. I feel like that's what's going on. I've said this about Mars and Pluto, as they're aspecting. Um, Mars is about the old patterns. Mars is about patterns, right? So if you're when it was in as it's in retrograde, it's like taking the old patterns and making a different choice. But being able to see that, because Aquarian gives you that superpower right now. Does that make sense? And then um the third and final time that they go towards each other, or that they're aspecting, or they're having it. So aspecting, just when I say aspecting, just think conversation. They're having a conversation. Okay. So the third and final time for that phase that you're doing, for that understanding, for that assignment, for that project, whatever you want to call it, the third and final time, they will both be direct. So they will both be clear about what's going on, and we will be able to finish this phase off. We'll be able to get some resolution, right? We're still moving in different ways, right? But the third and final time, it's going to be in Leo, and Pluto's still in Aquarius, and it will be at 3 degrees. That's a new degree. We have not had that degree in this lifetime, right? So I think it was at 3 degrees, but this is like a little bit further. So so to me, that's when I feel the final resolution of all this stuff that's going on in society, because that's Aquarius, society, humanitarian, and Pluto, the outer planet, right? Connecting with the inner planet, about making choices and having different patterns, about seeing what we're too attached to and finally seeing the reality of it and how we want to move forward, right? This won't finish up for me, I don't think, when it tells me this. It is the third and final time that they come together for this opposition, which to me tells me that's when the resolution is around that time. And that is in April 25th. They will both be at 3 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to go take a deep dive into that. Now, the next thing is Neptune moving into Aries on March 30th. And it will be moving into Aries March 30th till October 22nd, where it retrogrades back into Pisces, right? So there's some finishing up that we have to do, maybe some other adjustments that we have to make. And then it will go back into Aries on January 26th of 2026, where it will stay there for a while. Okay. So that's Neptune, because remember, Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years. So it's a long transit in Aries. So we've got some big changes coming. Now, the next thing would be Uranus. Uranus is going to go into Gemini July 7th through November 8th. And on November 8th, it is going to go retrograde back into Taurus, and then it will ingress or move into Gemini for its final time on April 26th of 2026, right? So that's Uranus. And then Pluto retrogrades May 4th at 3 degrees in Aqua. So in Aquarius, it's going to retrograde on May 4th. Um, yeah. Yeah, retrograde May 4th. And then we have another big thing is the Neptune and Saturn conjunct in Aries. There's a lot to be said about that aspect that's coming. There's already a lot going on this year, but there's a lot that, and I'm going to take a deep dive into that and what that actually means and how that can affect each one of us, right? So, because it's going to be conjunct at 0, 1 degrees on June 9th, that's a big time. I won't say specifically June 9th. That's when they're exact, right? So I won't say specifically on June 9th, but I'll say around there because we're talking about bigger planets, right? So a week before, 2, 3 weeks after, somewhere through there. That's a big aspect because that's a 0 to 1, right? That's a starting of something. That's something big coming. And then one of the bigger things for the full moon, new moon aspects are the full moon in Aqua on August 9th because it's going to be um, with Mars opposing Saturn, which is going to be conjunct Neptune and Venus, conjunct Jupiter. So let me just show you. So you Leos, you got some stuff going on too. Just off the top of my head, just thinking you Leos got some stuff going. Okay, we all do though. So if you want to know more about that and the deeper dive in because in my membership is where I'm doing signs per signs. All of these transits that I'm talking about right now, I'm going to do per sign. That is, if you want to know more about that or see those videos, that is my membership. So you have to do those. So we're going to have the full moon. The full moon in Aquarius, right? On that day, on August 9th. Yeah. So we're going to have the full moon on August 9th. And it is going to be where where's Mars, is opposing Saturn, that is right next to Neptune. Mars's action. To me, that opposition is not a bad thing unless you're not paying attention to the red flags, which I think by now you guys are paying attention to the red flags. So, to me, when they're having that conversation, that's like putting pressure on coal to make a diamond, right? So, and with Saturn and Neptune being there, that tells me that's your dreams coming true. That's taking from the realm, doing the action in Aries, learning and being tested with Saturn to make this happen because that's the ruler of Mars, and Saturn and Neptune are going to be in the ruler. I mean, that's the ruler of Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries, and that they are in the house of Mars, and air is Aries, right? So I feel like these are all like you're gonna have some major dreams come true. But that's not the only thing. On that day, we're also going to have right here, we're going to have Jupiter Venus, right? So Jupiter Venus is going to be also conjunct in Cancer, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer, with Saturn and Neptune in Mars's house, which is Aries, right? So I feel like that's a major thing coming up on that full moon, right? We're talking about a full moon. As you let go, as you transition, you get something for your next phase, right? Things open up for you, opportunities happen. Like that to me is an important one. And it's Aquarius, right? It's had Pluto in there. And you've been working with Pluto by this time. You've all been working with Pluto for a minute. But and what have I said about 22 degrees? 22 degrees to 29 degrees, if y'all have been watching me, that's when they express themselves fully. Whatever planet is at those degrees express themselves like they need to express themselves. What's a 22-degree full moon, right? So that's why I picked that day too. It's important. And then on June 9th, so we're in August at this time, but on June 9th, we are going to have Jupiter um, ingressing or moving in to Cancer. Okay. So those are the most important dates from January to June or July for me. And that's what I picked. That's what I'll be working on to bring you deep dives on each of these signs, each of what's going on. We delve deeper into these aspects. Watch my other videos if you want to know. Those aren't the only important dates. The other ones were the fact that the four outer planets are changing signs this year in 2025, and the lunar nodes have changed signs. Okay, so all right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to deep dive, and that's where I go through all the signs and stuff, that would be on my membership. So I appreciate each one of you. Hope you like this video. Show me some love so we can have that law of balance go on, right? Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.